I do 3D illustration and animation. Here's a bit of my work. I make lots of characters and try and keep it really colourful and fun, and I just try to make my work not take itself too seriously. So here is me in, I'd say, 1999 maybe, making what I think is my first masterpiece. I was quite lucky that my mum and my grandparents were all quite supportive of me being creative, and so it was really encouraged when I was younger to be silly and sort of explore my creativity, which was fun. I'm really proud of this photo. So here's my first ever 3D work. I went all the way bottom of my Instagram. I think it's really cursed and really bad. I made it when I was at uni and I had some really bad periods of mental health, and I was just trying really hard to make myself laugh. And I made it in Google SketchUp as well, which is quite a weird selection of 3D program. Here, I think, is my most, lowest, most cursed point. I made this when I was in maybe first or second year of uni, and I really thought I'd cracked it. I really thought, I am good at 3D now, which is lucky for everyone, it got better. So since graduating, I've been really lucky, and I've got to work for clients like Nike, New Yorker, Taco Bell, and I even got to make a taxi wrap for a threesome app, which was quite fun. So I've worked on some really good projects. But I'm here to talk to you guys tonight about Love Island. So when I was thinking about things I'd love to do, you see other people make work and you think, wow, I'd love to get the opportunity to do something like that. And I got the call for this, and it was so exciting. So for context, for my relationship with Love Island, because I know it's a bit controversial, that first summer that it came out, I was, I think, 18, and we were going out all the time and drinking all the time, and I think I was the perfect age to really enjoy Love Island, like a classic teenage girl. So I think I really liked it when it first came out. But yeah, when we got the brief through, there was 3 things that I thought were really important. It mentioned that it needed to be self-confident, it needed to be sassy, and it needed to be playful. So it really, really needed to make fun of itself. We needed to get the balance right of it being sexy but not smutty. And we just wanted the ad to be really playful and sort of lighthearted, and just the main thing was we wanted it to be really, really fun. So this was one of the first bits of speculative work that we did for the brief, trying to win it. And we ended up, I actually co-directed this, so I did all the 3D, and then the guys at Kitchen did the 2D. And we really enjoyed sort of merging the two together. So we were given these words to play with, and I don't get to do type as much as I'd like, so I really, really enjoyed that side of the project. And I just knew that this project was going to be really, really fun from these initial images. So this was one of the original ones we put forward as well. I really, really like it. We just wanted loads of inflatables because you spend all day at the pool in the summer, and we wanted it to feel really beachy and fun. But these guys actually were from these guys, which I did years ago, and the one on the right I weirdly remade a few months before Love Island came through. So it was really, really cool that I got to actually put it into a real brief rather than just an Instagram post into the void. So this was one of the first character decks that we put together. We wanted just a big group of really fun characters. We wanted them all to be really cheeky and wear bikinis and be naked, but we wanted it to be a group of people you'd imagine to be on Love Island. One of the other things that we wanted is we wanted there to be loads of emojis, because it's obviously I got a text. And so we had a really good conversation about this between us when we were working on it, that the one on the left was the original one I made, and we didn't feel that it was sort of naughty enough. So here is that conversation, and I thought I have to include it because it really made me laugh. That was sort of how it went when we were making it, but I knew... I sort of knew from conversation like this, I thought, yeah, this project is going to be really fun. I'm going to enjoy myself here. So from then I couldn't wait to get stuck into it. So this is one of the original sketches that we put forward, and then versus what the one we sent off to them ended up looking like. So again, it just had loads of emojis and characters, and we really wanted to get across that sort of 2D, 3D combination, because that was one of the main elements. We wanted it to be really fun. So there was a huge wait between us getting the brief through and actually starting, and it meant that the actual production time ended up being a month in total from us getting going. And by the time we actually had started going, I was really, really ill, like the most ill I think I've been in my life. So my co-director, George, he made these storyboards, and I think they look absolutely great. He's really like mastered my style, I think. But we were, yeah, I was really ill and dead whilst these were being made. Because we only had a month, we had to be really, really careful with our time. We really wanted to tackle it effectively. And so we needed to be clever about how we did certain scenes. We didn't want to waste loads of time doing like really fiddly things like walk cycles when there were so many characters. So this is how we kind of split it up, where I kind of pulled the characters' heads apart and took their hair off, and it's kind of like made it quite brutal. And then the 2D guys put it back together in After Effects, so it was a much easier way of creating the scene without wasting so much time. So this is the original development shot for that scene, and we knew that it was going to be quite like a flagship shot of the ad, so we wanted it to look great, and then this is how that actually ended up looking. So it kind of changed, but not too much, really. There was loads and loads of talk between us all about how we wanted the bodies to look, because all of my characters have always been just circles. Like, I don't mess around. All my characters are just big blobs. And as much as I know that, and maybe people who know my work know that, the average person who's watching telly doesn't know that, and it might not be so recognisable as what you think of as a Love Islander. So Love Island is obviously traditionally quite fit. And we wanted it to keep it sort of diverse, but also we kind of couldn't. It was a really weird kind of conversation that we had about it. And in the end, they did want the characters less round, so we settled on this kind of pill shape at the bottom where the men and the women all had the exact same body type, so there wasn't a focus around what their bodies looked like. There was a conversation about how we tackled the muscles. And the original one was this big, horrible, lumpy monstrosity, and then we settled on this kind of abs that are painted on so that you know it's fake, and you're kind of in on the joke. Because the 3D one was just too much. Also, this is meant to be Chris and Kem, so sorry, everyone. At one point, we had this absolute monstrosity, so that stayed in the bin. But yeah, another thing we had to do was originally all the women were in bikinis, and then we had to put them in skirts, which I thought was quite funny. But yeah, I think this is a good example of like the mix of the 2D and the 3D, because originally we had the 3D tattoo, and it looks so much better 2D, and then we could animate it, and it worked way, way better. And the shots were so quick, we wanted it to be really like effective and keep the whole advert really coherent. So this is one of my favourite shots of the whole thing. We wanted it to sort of be, so it's making fun of Bumble and dating apps and other shows and things, but we didn't want to be mean, we just wanted to kind of be a bit tongue-in-cheek and like they're in on the joke too. But I'm mostly really proud of the transitions and the way we kind of mixed between the shots, because it was so quick, we had to fit so much in. So I think this is a good example of why the transition makes all the difference. It's so much more interesting on the bottom rather than just having it move between scenes, and I was really proud of the way we did that. But those B characters are actually from this, which is a short that I started and never finished because it was terrible. It was about two flies who are best mates, and they fly into a window and get stuck and just swear. And I never finished it because I spent a good few days on it, and I thought, this is not worth my time. But I'm really glad I got to reuse the characters, because I was really proud of the way their legs are really wobbly. Like, I spent a long time learning how to make wobbly legs. And I like that they've got little shoes as well. Another shot that I think is really funny is this transition of the babies and just how, again, really cursed they look. Because we knew it was going to be on the screen for seconds, so we thought, well, just have fun with it. So they swipe across. this is one of my favourite shots of the whole thing. Like, I really, really love this shot, and I'm really proud of the way it changes focus and the way the emojis come up. I just think it, like, for me, that's my favourite of the whole thing. One of the things that we had to do before we finished is we had to cut the advert down. So originally, we had the scripts come through, but it needed to be chopped up into mini versions as well to go on the telly. So there was, I think, 4 versions in total. There was 2 20 seconds, a 30-second, and then the full minute that ended up being on the telly, because there was loads of teasers that kind of came out beforehand. And I think we were really lucky that the scripts we were given and the storyboards meant that we could chop the advert up without having to make new material, because we only had a month.
The OGs of love are here, letting you know that love is ours. We own it. This summer, love isn't blind. It's neon, and we can defo handle the heat. We've got a fire pit, mate. Love, we own it. Love Island continues tomorrow at 9 on ITV2 and ITV Hub.
So that was one of the many of the quick ones that ended up being sort of everywhere. And this is how I discovered that it was on live TV. One of my oldest friends, Georgia, texts me, and I think it's funny that she's sort of more interested in her game show than she is about the fact that I'm on TV. Also, we didn't have a TV license when it came out, so we had to buy one. And I never got to see it on TV because we don't watch TV. And the only thing I've used my TV license for is to host a Eurovision party. So, but yeah, so here is the full advert. Now you've seen all the behind the scenes.
Adios, blind dates. Au revoir, romantic weekends away. Arrivederci to the language of love. Is that a text in your pocket, or are you just excited to see us? That's right, the OGs of love are here, letting you know that this summer, love is ours. So to all you pretenders, stand down, French maîtrise, pause your greatest love song playlist, and you, yes you, Judy love, you better start thinking about a new surname, cause this is our patch. We might sound like we're chatting a load of old bumble, but we know you'll be swiping our way. 224 Islanders have walked through the villa doors in classic Love Island slow-mo, but hey, don't take it from me. Our bromances, babies and brides can tell you why we are number one. So get ready, cause this summer love isn't blind, it's neon, and we can defo handle the heat. We've got a fire pit, mates. Love, we own it. Love Island, watch now on ITV Hub.
So yeah, thank you very much.